name is Wasiu Tejuoso. I'm an academic. I lecture in the Department of Mass Communication, Moshidabara Polytechnic in Abeokuta. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to introduce you to the concept of what we call advertising as a profession and practice. Class, we're going to look at advertising, the definition, the various concepts that are necessary, all the interrelated concepts that are not advertising but are very familiar with advertising. We're going to look at the concept of advertising appeals, because of course everybody knows that advertising thrive on appeals. So we're going to look at advertising appeals, and if time permits us, it's going to dovetail into looking at the advertising agency to some extent. The whole essence of advertising is ability to persuade, to lure people into seeing a product the way you want them to see it. The whole essence of persuasion can be traced to the time of Adam and Eve. And how did persuasion started? Satan started by ensuring that he persuaded Adam and Eve to take the forbidden fruit. The product to be advertised was the forbidden fruit. And the first advertising practitioner was the Satan, and the first apprentice, the first consumer of advertising product, of advertising message, was Eve in the Garden of Eden. What is advertising? Abadlaska says advertising is salesmanship in print. One of the shortcomings of that definition was that it was one definition that came about when there was no advent of the broadcast media. I usually take another definition given by Chris Dokuje. He said it's a marketing tool whose sole aim is to bring preference to an advertised product or brand. A graduate of marketing, and to him, it does not see advertising as nothing but a marketing tool. If you ask a pastor, what is advertising? A pastor is most likely to tell you that advertising is an instrument of evangelism, because what he uses advertising for is to promote evangelism. But when you ask a politician, what is advertising? A politician is most likely to see advertising as an instrument of mass mobilization, because to him, he only uses advertising to mobilize electorates towards their brand of a party. But when you look at the two definitions I gave, that of Albert Lasker and that of Chris Dokuje, you realize that each of them also define advertising based on either usage, either their relationship with advertising, or based on their profession. How did Oshumi define advertising? Oshumi said advertising is a controlled, persuasive communication, usually paid for by an identifiable sponsor, about goods, products, and ideas disseminated through the mass media to a targeted group.